What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. My name's Micah, and today we're going to be adjusting the throttle with the throttle cables on our 2024 Kawasaki ZX-6R. So this process is going to be literally identical on the 2024 and 2025 ZX-6Rs, and probably is the exact same on all previous models as well. Now, a lot of times these will come from the manufacturer or even be sitting in the dealership, and the throttle is so out of spec, it's hilarious. But I'm going to show you how to adjust this, and your throttle will literally feel perfect afterwards. You don't need any tools at all to do this. It is extremely easy and straightforward. Now, a properly adjusted throttle is going to help you in so many ways. It's going to make your launches and getting off the line just feel a lot better. You'll be a lot quicker. It's going to let your gear shifts be so much smoother, as well as your on-off throttle. And if you're the kind of person who likes to do wheelies, it's just gonna feel so much better in your wheelies, you know? That throttle is just gonna feel so much more firm and stable and smooth. It's gonna inspire a lot of confidence. So without further ado, let's rip into it. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is get your bike to an area or a spot where you have a little bit of space that you can walk around and work on it, and then you're gonna wanna turn your handlebars all the way to the right. Now we're all set. So now that we're looking at the throttle grip on our bike, we're on the right side of it. The first thing that we're gonna wanna do is adjust our throttle cables. So you will see that you have two of them here. So your top one is gonna be your accelerator cable. That's what your grip is pulling on as you rev the throttle. That's what gives your motorcycle gas. And then the bottom one's gonna be your decelerator cable. So that is what brings your throttle back to its resting position when you let off the gas. Now, both of these cables will have an adjusting spot in them. I'll put my hand behind here so you can see this a little bit better. But if you can see, there's just one little locking nut on here, and then you kind of have a plastic little base here, and that's going to be how we adjust it. So the first thing that we're going to do is loosen up both of these cables, and we are going to adjust our throttle to factory spec from dead slop. So we will just get in here and loosen up that locking nut. You should be able just to do this by hand. You shouldn't need any tools. And we will spin that nut all the way to the end here. Perfect. So if you can see that, that nut is all the way in now. And so now we will just turn our plastic adjuster all the way in as well. All right, perfect. So now our decelerator cable is adjusted all the way in. So on your accelerator cable, the adjuster is going to be back just a little bit further here. It's kind of behind this reservoir. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. Loosen up that locking nut, screw that all the way in, and then screw our adjuster all the way in as well. So we have total slop with the accelerator and decelerator. Break that locking nut free. Screw that all the way in, and then screw our adjuster in here as well. Perfect, we are done. So now we've got both cables loosened up all the way. So if you feel your throttle, you'll just have so much slack in it. It just feels ridiculous. But if we rev our throttle here, you can hear that clicking shut, right? So it can get to its resting position, but after that, we can still turn our throttle forward as well. So when adjusting these cables, you're gonna start by adjusting your decelerator cable. So that's gonna be the lower of the two. And that's what will take out that slop as your throttle is in the resting position, so you can't turn your throttle grip forward at all. We're gonna adjust that position, and then we'll move to the accelerator cable. So we're just gonna start screwing that adjuster out as we are feeling our throttle. Keep adjusting that until it starts to eat up a lot of that slack that we're feeling in the line in that grip. Now, the factory spec on these for slack is going to be 2 to 3 millimeters, which translates to 1/10 of an inch, right? So not much. We're about there actually. So I'll just adjust it a little bit more. That's about good. So I'm gonna spin my locking nut up here tight. Now we're gonna switch to the adjuster on our accelerator cable, so that top cable there. So we will just start screwing that outwards as we are feeling our throttle here. Yeah, we can feel it eating up that slack. It's slowly getting better. Getting better, it's about there. Oh, that's about it. I would say that's probably 3 millimeters, but I'm gonna get it down to that 2 because I really like a tight throttle feel. So that feels about like it right there. So what you can do is just open up your throttle. Make sure that you can hear that throttle click shut, right? So we don't want to adjust our throttle cable so tight that it's keeping our throttle open on accident, but we don't want to have any slack in there. So honestly, that feels really good. I'm happy with that. So I am just gonna lock that locking nut onto our adjuster, and you're just getting these finger tight. I wouldn't put any tools on these, with them being plastic, you know, a metal pliers or a needle nose, anything like that will kind of mar up these plastic parts. So you just get them good and tight with your fingers. And now we'll see what play we have. Just about that 2 millimeters or so. And as we twist our throttle, we can hear it clicking shut. It feels so good and so tight. So, and that is excellent. Everything feels really tight, really smooth, so everything is perfectly adjusted in our throttle and cables to that factory spec that we were looking for. Well, and just to kind of show you guys what my cables look like after adjusting them. So if we get in here on this little adjuster and the threads on that bolt, my decelerator cable, oh, it's maybe 1/3 of an inch or so, somewhere around there, adjusted outwards. And then moving over to take a look at our accelerator cable, looks about like the exact same, about 1/3 of an inch or so adjusted outward. But that is where ours ended up, and if you've got a 2024 ZX-6, yours is probably gonna be almost identical looking to that after you're done. So, and that is it, guys. That's all there is to it. You know, a test that you can do afterwards to make sure that you don't have the throttle too tight is start up your bike, let it warm up, let it get to that perfect idling temperature, idling RPM, and turn your handlebars left all the way and then right all the way. Make sure your RPMs don't raise for any reason. If your RPMs do go up when you crank the steering all the way left or right, that's probably a sign you've got your accelerator cable just a smidgen too tight. So loosen that up just a little bit. But if your throttle feels snug and firm, and as you turn the handlebars left to right, your RPMs don't raise or do anything like that, that is the sign that you did everything correctly. So good job. And that's all there is to that, guys. You know, I bet 90% of people watching this video with a ZX-6R, I bet your throttle and throttle cables are not in spec. You know, I bet you have more play than you should. So this is certainly something that you don't have to adjust often. You may do it one time. You know, as these motorcycles, since everything's brand new, if you got your bike new, everything kind of breaks in, you know, and so usually you'll need to do one adjustment, even if you did an adjustment right off the bat. But then most likely, I bet you will never have to adjust those again. And that is all I have for you guys today. So, like the video if this helped you out, subscribe if you guys want to see more, and until next time, have a wonderful night, guys.